Let's talk about the Convention People's Party, which plans to stage a demonstration or a protest next week for what the party describes as political, social and economic injustice. The action would also be used to demand the return of the party's assets. With me in the studio is Deputy Director of Communications with the CPP, Ernesto Yeboah. Ernesto, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Camille.
Explain this political, social and economic injustice you believe is being perpetrated here in the country.
Well, thank you very much once again, and let me say a very good morning to your wonderful viewers. I think it's important to underscore certain facts. One being that we do not just queue to vote for leaders to, as it were, mismanage our lives, mismanage the economy, mismanage almost everything. Right after 1966 to date, I mean, almost every sector is in shambles. Talk about our transport sector, talk about our health, talk about education, talk about, I mean, almost everything is in shambles. And now we are in an era of doomso. Now, the manifestations that we are seeing across, I mean, in terms of the protest and all that, is to voice up against the Fourth Republic on the kinds of incompetent leaderships that we have had, I mean, over the years. You have a situation where this doomso has resulted in the death of, I mean, innocent, I mean, families and all that. So these would underline the reason why we are also taking to the
Why
street.
then didn't you just join the NPP as it embarked?
Well, that is, I mean, to suggest the CPP is an annex of the NPP. It is not. Now,
but you're protesting.
Yes, much as we agree with the sentiment.
Similar to same issues.
Yes, much as we agree with the sentiment that probably inspired that demonstration. The question the people of Ghana are asking is whether the NPP has a morality to embark on such a demonstration, especially when in our just recent past.
But you see, it doesn't deny or it doesn't underwrite or overwrite the fact that the problems they are saying is true.
It does. It does. I mean, the NPP is just as same as the NDC. So if a political party should be leading a demonstration, Ghanaians are not expecting the NPP to do that.
But don't forget that it may have been organized by the NPP, but at the end of the day, it was the Ghanaian people. So for me, my question will be, won't we be wasting state resources if we are to have two demonstrations that will be asking for the same thing? We'll have the police going on.
Certainly not. Certainly not. Even if a protest would be held every day, I mean, the state should be able to provide the necessary protection to ensure that it happens. That's what, I mean, our constitution tells us. I mean, so it doesn't amount to a waste of time. It doesn't amount to a waste of resources or money. Now, the point is, in 2001, even as regard, how do you call it, this energy crisis, the IMF World Bank issued a report cautioning Ghana government that if we don't take care, there is going to be, how do you call it, what has now been described as, come to be described as doomso. President Kufuor did nothing about it from 2001 to 2006 when we were hit with, how do you call it, doomso in this country. And then in 2007, we saw some respite. Now, you want to ask yourself, what systems were put in place? And is the MPP the moral authority in this direction to be leading a demonstration? And the answer is an overwhelming no from the people of Ghana.
I want us to concentrate on your demonstration. I want us to stay away from trying to poke holes into why the NPP will want to go on a demonstration, because for me the most important thing is the issues raised are real and they have to be dealt with. But then again, you're not only going on the demonstration for the energy crisis, you also want a return of your assets. So your demonstration is to demand two things.
Exactly. Now, it is also important to make the point, and there's an appeal to the whole nation. We claim we are in the Fourth Republic and we are practicing democracy. We pray that every democratic-minded person watching us right now averts the attention to certain injustice being done against the Convention People's Party. We have solidly fought for the rights, I mean, of the people of this country in all spheres. You would even recall that immediately after our humiliation in 2012, and the National Blood Transfusion Service was calling out for blood in order to save lives. It is only the Convention People's Party that came together to, as it were, donate blood to save lives. Today, little, how do you call it, Zeba is alive. Talk about the fact that when it came for the fight against genetically modified foods, it is only the Convention People's Party that has up till now been waging that particular war, not any political party, only CPP. Talk about even our opposition to EPA, it is only CPP.
How does that relate to your?
Now we are saying that in order to be able to fight even better and lead, the opposition in a more credible manner and in a more credible form, the injustices that is being done against the party. You have a situation where some members of the party, as it stands now, are denied from contesting any public office, including a post office clerk. And this can be found in NLC Decree 323, Elections and Public Officers Disqualification Decree. You have people like Auntie Lucy, she is alive, one of the first female members of parliament in this country. And her only crime is the fact that she served in the CPP government. So she cannot contest for any public office. Now you have the confiscation of our assets across the length and breadth of the country. Talk about even the National Fire Service, office in Greater Accra. That was supposed to be the Greater Accra Regional Head Office of the Convention People's Party, seized. Talk about the Ministry of Information building recently, and it belongs to the Convention People's Party, seized. Go to Ashanti Region, the Education Office,
you have been working on having your assets returned to you since last year or even longer, but ahead of it last year. What's been the development? How far have you gone with that? You don't have it, yes, but how far has the chase gone?
Well, almost every political administration we have had in the Fourth Republic has received one form of an appeal or the other. But I'll start with what we did with President Mills, may his soul rest in peace. We sent a delegation, we penciled, a letter, in which he replied and asked us to list all our properties. And then he constituted a committee to go around with us to be able to have this done. Fortunately, all this was completed, but before we could submit the report to him, he passed. So we have submitted the entire report to President Mahama. Unfortunately, not a single word has come from President Mahama concerning these assets.
And you're hoping the demonstration will bring out a word or two from the...
And we are hoping that the people of Ghana would add their voice to this great injustice.
But you might as well just donate. If they are being used for running the country, you might as well just donate.
Well, that should be our choice, but you don't confiscate it illegally.
Do you intend to do that? Is that what you wish to do?
That should be our choice. So return it to us and let us say that, okay, we are donating it to the state.
I see. When is this demonstration, though?
It's happening exactly on February 24th. And
which is the same day we are expecting the MPP to hold their second demo in the Ashanti region.
Theirs is a diversion. Of course, you see, the MPP has done everything. It appears that the MPP is seeing something. The CPP is the party to beat in the 2016 elections. And that is why they would do everything to make sure that the CPP doesn't, resonate well.
You're sure of that?
Of course. Recently, they organized a JB Dankwa Memorial, session, which became an Nkrumah platform to lambast the man. But
what makes you think, really, that in the 2012, the CPP had no show in the election? You think that the party that's second best performed would want to...
We have many examples across the world. Talk about even India as we speak. The current, ruling party did not even have 2 seats in parliament. And yet the people of, India changed their mind. Talk about even Benin. 2007, they had this MPP NDC thing going on in their country, and what they did was to vote against the 2 of them and brought in Yayi Boni. So it is happening across the length and breadth of the world.
You think that it could cast a shadow? The Kumasi one could cast a shadow?
It won't. Your demonstration. We are going ahead.
Because you think that
element within the MPP, then UP, caused treason on February 24th, 1966. If we are suffering doomsday right now, the NPP is a contributory, factor to that.
We
and
get
nothing
that.
will stop us from telling the people of Ghana that we are the right, how do you call it, a credible alternative that they have been looking for. Look, when Ghana's population was just between 5 million and 6 million, we gave this country the largest man-made dam on earth. Largest man-made dam. We did not just leave it there. We started with the Bui Township. And then when we were done, we moved straight to, how do you call it, start with the atomic energy plant, which would have been producing nuclear energy as we speak today. We have put out our energy blueprint, hoping that the NDC will not just steal our slogans, but would also steal this energy blueprint that would, how do you call it, resolve the concrete problems that confront us. Unfortunately, when it comes to those solutions, they are not looking at that. All they want is slogans that could win the votes of the people, get them in government, and then loot, create, and share.
I'm grateful for your time here, Ernesto.
Thank you
Ernesto Ieboa is Deputy Director of Communications with the Convention People's Party, which intends to embark on a demonstration February 24 here in Accra to demand economic justice and a return of their assets to them. Away from that, police have mounted a search for a man alleged to be the ringleader of an internet fraud gang. The man named Samson Amavi is reported to be the leader of the gang, which operated on the popular online website tonaton.com. His victims are people who use the website to buy and sell various products and services. I'm joined over the telephone by Estelle Wesley. Estelle Wesley is Managing Director for Tonaton. Let's find out more about this issue.
Yes, hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, Estelle.
How are you today?
I'm well, I trust you're well too. But how did this happen?
So it's very unfortunate, and we feel for those who run victims for these fraudsters. They are professionals, these fraudsters, and I think what's important to know here that this could happen offline. It also happen in normal life. If you go to your market, or if you happen to have a transaction offline, it could happen. So it's so important to use your common sense and safety rules for these things. We really feel for those when it happens, but we see very, very severely on it.
I want to believe Tonaton had a role to play in the arrest of some of the gang members. Now, what I want to know is, how did the gang operate on Tonaton?
So we have a team, a customer support team, that is sitting and going through every ad that is posted on tonaton.com. So everything that you see on Tonaton has already passed our customer support team, and they are reviewing everything. And we have blacklisted email addresses and blacklisted numbers and a rigorous process in approving. But sometimes these fraudsters are very smart, so they slip through. So we have a special fraud team that is going through all the content and the items, and also people that report. It's very, very important that people report to us if they are fall victim from these fraudsters, because then we can help both taking away the ads from our site so other people won't get hurt by them, but also to take them down. And this is something that we do actively. So we also work and we collaborate with the police and with people that have gone victims in order to catch them and put them down.
How can people identify some of these fraudsters?
I think the most important thing is to be safe, to trade safe. So, for example, when you meet the seller, you have to meet the seller in person, check the item before you buy, and then never exchange item and payment at different times. So always do it at the same time. So when you're getting a car, then you're handing over the payment, and bring also your mechanic to expect it. When you're paying for a phone, you're also getting it at the same time. And then use your good sense. So there's quite often fraudsters that try to have prices that are far too low just because, everybody gets excited by a good deal. So good deals that are sometimes appear to be good to be true, they are as well. So use your common sense there, and don't never hand out any financial or bank account information. So I would say the most important thing is to never give money for an item that you haven't received yet and inspected yet.
Is Tonaton going to do anything to tighten security on its online sales site?
For sure. We're working on this from the start when we launched here in Ghana 2 years ago. We have been working with this, and we're working even harder now. We have a fraud team, so every case that is reported to us, we are investigating it to take the fraudsters down. And it's a very important thing that we're doing and we're also looking into a number of also security steps that you have to go through before posting on Tonaton to make it more secure. So we look very severely on this, and we feel for those who run victims for these fraudsters.
How many fraudsters has Tonaton identified since it started operating and it's been able to bring down?
I can't disclose the number on how many we have identified, but we have brought down 4 to this day.
Including this one we are talking about. So here's what I want to know. This gang that operated on Tonaton, what were they selling, how were they selling it, and how did they defraud the people?
The tricky thing is that they are very smart, and I'm sure they also listen to when I speak today. So if I mention one item they are posting and that you should look out to, the next day they are changing items.
Estelle, I'm speaking.
Yes.
I'm speaking to the issue, particularly to those who have been arrested right now. Yes. That the police is on the lookout for the ringleader. What exactly were they selling, and how are they luring the people? How are they defrauding them?
So these guys, they quite often sell cars because it has a big value for a car. It's easy to get big money, and also people are looking for a car. It's interesting to get a car. So quite often a car. These guys in this case, they had fish farms that they were advertising. So it's different from different fraudsters, I would say.
I see. We'll leave it here. Thank you very much, Estelle. Estelle Wesley is Managing Director for Tonaton.com. There's more to come here. Don't go away.